NBA superstar and social activist Carmelo Anthony is launching a new initiative aimed at highlighting black fashion designers through his fashion label. It's called Stay Mellow. Anthony, a 10-time All-Star who is a longtime champion for social justice, is also known for his style, we could say, off the court. His new fashion initiative, look at him, is called the Propel Program. It aims to support black designers with the debut collection unveiled last night in a virtual show for New York Fashion Week, which is underway this week. Anthony told us he hopes this new program will give underrepresented designers a platform for years to come.
We as black people are culture. We create the culture.
How do we think about what's going to happen to us in the black community in 5 years? From a creative standpoint, what does that look like?
That's the question NBA star Carmelo Anthony is trying to answer. With a new clothing collection he's calling A Black Future. It's part of the Propel program, a new initiative Anthony is launching to support the black creative community. And he's calling on 7 emerging designers to make that vision a reality. What was your mission? What was your goal?
I didn't know what it was at first. And then now it's like we deal with so much trauma daily, like all day, all night. There's always a black and brown community who's being affected by that. So how do we give the people that's dealing with this trauma or need an outlet or need resources to propel them forward?
Yeah, and it doesn't sound to me either that this is a one and done for you.
No, this is A Black Future is one of the best things that I've done. You know, to sit there with those designers, you know, on the Zoom calls. I want to thank everybody because what I'm trying to create here hasn't been done yet. And it wasn't just about designing. Like, we had real conversations just about life, because a lot of those designers are actually still in those communities that's being affected.
How are you feeling as we sit here in the state that we're in? You know, there was another incident in the news involving a black man and a police officer. Also in the news, 2 police officers shot. How are you navigating all of this, processing this?
It's hard. It's hard to wake up and hear about another tragedy, police killing, or somebody killing the police, right? That's just where we at as a country right now. And for the black community, we're tired of it. We're just fed up with it. So on the flip side of that, to see the 2 cops who got shot, we don't want that either. Like, we don't need that.
You wrote a very moving letter in July addressed to young men and women of color. And you said, "It's hard for me to tell you not to be afraid when I'm afraid." What did you mean?
I'm afraid of the unknown. I don't know how to keep having these conversations with the younger generation, my son. I never thought I would have to have this conversation with him at 13. I'm fearful of, like, telling him the wrong thing or my emotions coming to, you know, being put on the forefront, because he's gonna take everything I say and how I say it, and he's gonna build off of that.
It is the conversation no black parent wants to have with their child. But despite the fear, Anthony is setting an example for his son Kyan by using his voice to speak for change.
You know what? Enough is enough.
So you were recently guest editor-in-chief of Slam magazine.
Yeah.
It was very powerful. What was your message in the magazine?
The overall message was, look, the time is now, right? Like, my son is on this cover. These are the new voices, the most important voices. This is the future. Our time is now to make a change.
I'm sure it was a deliberate choice where you're both in hoodies.
Yes, just because I have a hoodie, don't make me a gangster, don't make me a thug, don't make me this, don't make me that. I am who I am at the end of the day. So my son have it. He's definitely not, you know, not intimidating anybody, and I'm not intimidating anybody.
Anthony is no stranger to speaking his mind and opening his heart. Earlier this year, he spoke candidly about the challenges he faced after parting ways with the Houston Rockets in 2018. At the time, he went unsigned for a year before eventually joining the Portland Trail Blazers. On the Uninterrupted podcast, you talked very frankly, where you said you hit rock bottom and that you got through with the help of Kobe and LeBron. What did you mean?
Like, it was just like, oh, this is happening? You know, I never thought this could happen to me. Like, I was just so naive about it, you know, so, yeah. You know, Kobe was there for me, you know, when I was talking to him. LeBron was there at times. It was just certain people that would just give me little nuggets here and there.
And it came from people you respected, too.
And it came from people I respected, but also it came from people I didn't even know, too.
Now, you're in Portland. And when you went to Portland, did you think that Portland would be the place for you? Because you're kicking butt in Portland.
He's doing work.
I didn't think that. I didn't know what to think by the time I got to Portland. I could just tell you I had worked so hard, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to get to the point where I was able to accept it.
Yeah.
So for so long, I had disconnected myself from the game because I just felt like, oh, the game doesn't love me the way that I love the game anymore. So maybe it's time for me to walk away. And that's where I was at. So when I got the call from Portland, it's like, I already knew what I wanted. I was at peace with it. You know, are we going to be able to work together? Are we going to do this together? Do you need me or do you want me? Like, it's a...
Was that an important distinction for you?
That was a point. That was a very important
distinction. Do you
distinction.
need me or do you want me? What's more important?
Want.
Want.
Want. Because if you want me, then you would do everything that you have to do to make it work.
Yeah.
Right? If you need me, you can, yeah, I need you, but, you know, we can look over here too, right?
Yeah.
So I was very big on them saying, look, we want you here. You know, we believe in you.
Are you happy there?
I'm happy.
I get the impression, Melo, that black excellence are not just words to you.
No, black excellence is a movement. It's who we are, it's what we have inside of us. We've always had black excellence, but now we have our voice, we have a platform, and I'm going to continue bringing people along with me.
Amazing.
Carmelo Anthony, very smart, very thoughtful. He thinks a lot about what's happening in the country. And he said, you know, I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm not even really into politics. What I'm into is my community.
Yeah.
So it's not to me about Democrat or Republican. It's about right and wrong. And I'm looking for someone who does right. He reminded me of Maren Morris in that respect. He goes, it's not about, you know, Democrat or Republican. It's about right and wrong and standing in the right place. And he feels very strongly about young people. I love this part where he says, there are 3 words I tell them: love, hell, and right. What does that mean? When you love something, you will go through hell for it to make it right. And so it's love, hell, and right. When you love something, you will go through hell.
I loved what he said there right at the end, that he's going to bring, he intends to bring people along with him, which is a real act of generosity. I'm used to the post-game Carmelo when he played with the Knicks, because I'm a Knicks fan.
Yeah.
I don't know this Carmelo that well.
I was thinking the same thing.
And I really like him.
Well, speaking about the Knicks, because there's rumors that, you know, people want him to come back to the Knicks, that Knicks are talking, and I asked him about that, and he goes, I'm in Portland. I'm very happy in Portland. He wouldn't even go there on that. But a lot of people would be happy to see him come back to New York.
Yeah.
So
well, I'm glad he's happy. That's the main thing.
I am too. You know, his wife is Lala Anthony and their son Kai, and they live in New York. That's another reason. So they're commuting back.
That is tough. The coast-to-coast thing is
But they're
hard.
making it work. They're making it work.